What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to the Savvy Systems Sister podcast. This is our Sunday night live recording. And let me tell y'all, I am so excited to be back here this Sunday. When I tell y'all, it has been a week. It has been a week, but I am so excited to be back here with you all today so that we can get into today's conversation. So before we begin, let me know, how was your week? Girl, how you doing? Let me know in the chat. And then let's dive in. So today we're going to be talking about the number one thing that I need you to get ready, that I need you to get in order, that I need you to get straight so that your business will run, okay? And so that it's going to run smoothly. And that's alignment. I'm up. Do I need to spell it? ALIGNMENT. We're talking about alignment today and why it is so important for you, for your business. So many of us are out here building things, but we're not in alignment with what it is that God has called us to build, and that misalignment or being out of alignment is what is causing you to not see the things that you desire to see. You feeling stuck, but you stuck because you're out of alignment. You're like, I don't know which path to take. You're always looking for clarity. You're looking for clarity because you're out of alignment. You end up with shiny object syndrome, and you get shiny object syndrome, and then switch gears real quick because you're out of alignment. So let's talk about, before we even dive into the conversation about alignment and authenticity, because that's what we're really going to be diving into today. Let's talk about where this fits in the framework. So if you're not familiar with it, this is the 4R Ascension method. This is one of my frameworks. And whether we're talking about life, whether we're talking about business, no matter which part we are talking about, this is our framework. Okay. So we start with the realign phase, and we're realigning to ensure that we are doing what it is that God has called us to do, and we are building what it is that God has called us to build. And we're also doing it because a lot of us are out here with systems in place, but our systems are serving, you are serving your systems. When what needs to happen is that your systems are created to serve you, serve your life, and to work in your business. But that can't happen without the realign phase. Like, you don't even know what systems you need until you sit down and you really look at that realign phase. And again, that's why you're stuck. That's why you constantly find yourself in build mode, when you need to find yourself in serve mode so that you can serve the people that you've been called to serve. But you can't do that. Your systems aren't going to work because you're out of alignment. When we talk about the reset phase, that's when we're looking at all the things that are out of alignment, and we are deciding that we're going to let them go. Because some things we just got to let go. When we talk about rebuild, now that we've let some things go and we've decided exactly what it is that we need, when we decide to rebuild, we are then putting the pieces back into place to make things move and to make things shake in our business so that things can work in the way that we desire them to work. And then there's the rise phase, because listen, once you've realigned, you reset, you've rebuilt all the things that you need to rebuild, it is time to go forth and be great, and to allow those systems to run in the background for you. So when we're talking about rising, we're talking about number one, the sustainability. We're talking about the maintenance of those systems, and we're talking about making sure that things are doing what we need them to do. So again, that is our framework. So let's get into it, y'all. Let's talk about authenticity, and let's talk about alignment, because if you are not walking in authenticity, that's another reason why you're out of alignment. If you are not showing up in these spaces as your most authentic self, I don't care what platform you're on. If you are on YouTube, if you are on LinkedIn, if you are on Facebook, if you are on Instagram, if you are not showing up as you and the woman that God created you to be, yes, you, like you're not trying to show up as somebody else, your most authentic self, your most authentic energy, then you're doing it wrong. And I've said it before, being seen feels unsafe. And being seen feels unsafe because at some point in your life, you have been reprimanded, especially if you're a Black woman, you've been reprimanded for being yourself. Somebody has told you that you are too much, or just the opposite, somebody has told you that you are not enough. And because you have had those experiences, you are afraid to show up. And not only are you afraid to show up, you are afraid to show up as who it is that God created you to be. You are afraid to show up as the authentic version of you. And that's what I need you to stop being afraid of. That's that's what because guess what? The people that need you, the people that are looking for you, because there's somebody out there. I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is, but it's somebody out there that is looking for you. There is somebody out there that is waiting for you to show up fully in all of the awesomeness that God created you to show up as. So, I want you to be authentic. And remember that being seen is safe. So, how do we get back into alignment? And that's where that framework that I just showed you, that's where it comes from. First, I need you to do an inventory. I need you to figure out what is not working. Where are you stuck? What do you feel like should be working and it's not? I want you to look at, we're getting ready to move into a new quarter in like 8 days, like in a week. We're moving into a new quarter. And so what I want you to do is I want you to get crystal clear. I want you to look at what happened in this first quarter of 2026, or what happened in the last quarter or the quarter that you're currently in, so that you can decide what needs to change and what needs to, like, we just need to make a few tweaks and improve on that a little bit. So I want you first to sit down and I want you to ask yourself, what is going well? If there is something that is going well, then I want you to do more of that. But I also want you to look at what is not going well. Because if it's not going well, then baby, we're gonna let it go. We are going to let that go. But not only that, I want you to think about at the end of the quarter where you want to be, because some of us aren't reaching our goals because we don't even have no goals. We haven't decided what it is that we want. So when you haven't decided what it is that you want, then how can you go after something where you don't know what you're going after? So I want you to decide what it is that you want for your life. What do you want your life to look like? What has God told you is possible in your life? And then I want you to go after it. And I want you to, but like, you got to make a plan though. Like, let's plan this thing out. Though, let's not just skate on through. We gotta plan. We gotta plan it on out. But we gotta plan it on out and we gotta do it in a way that is authentic. Like, um, I can make a plan for Carmen, but if that plan, you can't copy my plan though, because my plan matches my life. If somebody else's plan doesn't match your life, then girl, let it go. That wasn't meant for you anyway. But you know how when we start talking about let it go, I walked into a class the other day and I heard some Frozen music going, so like I'm ready to sing. But I ain't gonna do that to y'all today. I ain't gonna do that. My kid is the singer, not me. Not me. I wasn't blessed with that gift. So I want you to think about what it is that you want and I want you to go after it authentically. But you got to think about what you want so that you can identify what you don't want. So when you identify what you don't want, then you know what it is that you need to let go. And then I need you to show up as the version of you that is you right now. Like your vibe is going to attract your tribe. Your people are going to find you and they are going to find you and they're going to want to work with you, not because of your credentials, not because you know so much, not because you were teacher of the year 10 times, but because of who you are, you, and who you are on the inside. So I want you to remember that you need to show up as who you are because listen, it gets tiring. It gets tiring trying to show up as somebody else. I need to listen. I tried that once. I did, and I was like, now I need a nap. I need a nap because now I didn't figure it out all day how to be somebody else, and then I got to come home and switch that on to be. Mm-mm. No, y'all just gonna get me. Y'all just gonna get Carmen. Y'all just gonna get Miss Brown. That's who y'all gonna get. I've been here because it's difficult to try to be somebody else when God created you to be a way. So I need you to think about who that woman is and just show up as her. Who are you at your core? Your people are looking for you. They're not looking for somebody else. They are looking for you. So once you have decided what that is, then you can decide what it is that you need to let go. Get rid of it if it's that man, honey, because he ain't he ain't, then let it go. If it is a system that you don't even understand, but you paying a whole lot of money for it, girl, let it go. Let it go. Whatever it is, let it go. If you don't need it, I'm gonna let it go. Let it go. And then you can start to put back into place the things that God has told you to. That's when you're ready to rebuild and put things back into place that are going to support the authentic you, and that are going to support the things that you've decided that you want to do. And finally, we just maintain. Like we rise. We have put all of this into place so that we can show up authentically. And now it is time to rise. Let me tell y'all a story. So it was 2021, I believe. So 2020, I decided that I was gonna lock my hair. Okay. I don't, I don't, I don't have locks now. So we'll but 2020, I decided I was gonna lock my hair. And if you go back on my Instagram back that far, you'll see photos and pictures of me with these beautiful locks. And so I was working in a virtual school. It was a virtual elementary school. And um I was working remote from home. This was like, after the pandemic and people had started going back. And so I was working in this virtual school as their math coach. And then my position was ripped. So they was like, "We don't need you here no more." And I was placed back in the building. So up until that point in my career, I had worked in schools that the staff mostly looked like me and the kids mostly looked like me. But I was told at this point that I was going to be moving or I was being placed in two elementary schools where most of the staff and most of the students didn't look like me. And I remember when I got the email that this is where I was going to be going, the first thing that my dad said to me, the first thing that my dad said to me was, now you have to cut your locks. And I was like, no, no, I'm not going to have to cut my locks because they going to have to take me and all that I am and all that I know and all that I have to offer. They going to have to take me as I am. Now, like a month later, I did start to, I did decide to cut my locks. I did about a month later, not because I, not because of the schools, not because of the schools that I was working in, but I decided to cut my locks because they were no longer in alignment with the season that I was moving into myself. So we've got to have discernment with our authenticity. We've got to have discernment with our alignment. And so that you know that you can move with intention and you know that when it's time to make a different move, it's time to make a different move. So cutting my locks for me, I knew that my hair did not particularly care for those locks. And again, I was moving into a new season. So I cut I cut them off. They no, excuse me, I didn't cut them off. I combed them out. I combed them out. It was a 3-day process. My hair was a lot thicker and like more luxurious after the fact, but I combed them out because I was moving into a new season. I was moving into a new season of alignment. So when you've got to know when it's time to move into that new season of alignment. I need you to show up authentic authentically, excuse me, but I also need you to make sure that as you are moving with authenticity, that you are intentional about listening for the voice of God and discerning when it's time to make some different moves. Because the goal, again, we've talked about alignment and aligning with who God created us to be, but really the goal is to move in alignment with his will. So if you're not in a place where you are moving in the will of God, then that's something else that you've got to think about and that you've got to work through. All right, so let's move on, y'all. Um, I want to start a new segment called dun 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 drum roll. Oh, I think let's see. Hold on. Oh, it's not a joke. Sorry, wrong sound. Hold on, I think I found it. Called Ask the Savvy System Sisters. So I want to provide you with the opportunity to ask your questions and get them answered live in real time during our weekly Sunday show. So I've got two questions that came to me. So I'm going to answer them live in real time right here on tonight's show. So the first question, I got them written down. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. If I have a small email list, do I have to automate everything right now? If I have a small email list, do I have to automate everything right now? So when we're talking about automation and we're talking about email lists, we are talking about we're in that build phase, okay? That rebuild phase where we're deciding which systems we need and which systems that we don't need. So when we're talking about an email list, first you've got to decide what is the purpose of your email list. So the email list is essential for your business because a lot of us are building communities on social media, but that's rented real estate. You don't own that social media platform, but what you do own is your email list. So let's say Instagram and Facebook decided they were going to get shut down today, then you no longer have those 10,000 or, well, 1,000 followers that you had. They're gone. So if you take people from your social media to your email list, that is owned real estate. That's, you got a mortgage over there, honey. So it's time over there for you to build and to show up and to nurture your folks over there. So if you have a small email list, do you need to automate everything? 100% you don't have to email. You don't have to automate everything. But here's what I would automate. If I had a small email list and I'm growing my business, now, here's what I'm going to automate. Number one, I'm going to create a landing page. So whether you're in Kit, you're in Flowdesk, you're in MailChimp, you're in Kajabi, whatever, I would start by creating a landing page that's going to help you collect email addresses. Because when somebody comes into contact with your business, with your brand on social media, or on, or like if you're out networking somewhere, when somebody comes to in contact with your business and with your brand, you want to be able to quickly take their email address. So start with a landing page that has their email list where you can put it there. Now, what I like about what people are, what email service providers are doing now is that they are providing you the opportunity not only to say, I want to join this email list, but they're providing you with the opportunity to say, these are my preferences. This is what I want to learn more about. So you can set those up so you know right off the bat what your people want to learn more about when they sign up for your email list. The second part of that is to set up a simple nurture sequence. So once somebody joins your email list, then you want to make sure that you are giving them more information about you and the work that you do so that you can serve them and potentially turn those folks from um, email list watchers to customers. And how do you do that? So, most email list platforms are going to have a feature where you can set up a welcome sequence. You don't need more than 3 emails to start with. Email number one, you're going to introduce yourself. And if you promise them a freebie like a lead magnet, you're going to deliver that lead magnet in that email. Not freebie, I'm sorry. Email number two, you're going to share with them another freebie. And whatever that second freebie is, maybe it's a video that you have posted on Instagram, maybe it's a blog post that you did. You want to make sure that it positions you for what your offer is later. And the third email that you want to send is something that invites them to go deeper into your circle, deeper into your community. Maybe it's purchasing a lower ticket offer that aligns with the freebie that they downloaded. That's it. That's the whole. That's the whole thing. And then when you're ready to email them later, because you should be emailing them on a consistent basis, you are going to want to make sure that you have their email list there, and then you can send out emails weekly, bi-weekly. Don't ghost your people. Listen, ain't nothing worse than you starting a relationship with somebody and y'all dating or whatever, and then a man ghosts you. There ain't nothing worse than that. Don't ghost your people. Don't ghost them. I want you to be consistent with connecting with them and building that relationship with your audience so you can continue to nurture them so that when you're ready to ask them to buy from you, they are warmed up and they are ready to go. They ready. They're like, hey girl, here's my credit card. Here it is. Plus, people need multiple touch points in order to want to purchase from you. So you want to make sure that you give them those multiple touch points. Maybe it's a blog post. Maybe it's a YouTube video. Maybe it's a reel that they saw on your Instagram, but a 15-second reel on Instagram is not going to position you in the way that you desire to position you. So, your long form content, your email newsletter can do that. So, we're emailing them consistently over and over um, on a regular basis. But we're not just emailing them to email them, and we're not just emailing them to pitch to them. We are emailing them to add value to their lives with the problem that you serve or that you, um, the transformation that you provide in your business. So that was question number one. So, do you need to automate everything? Absolutely not. You want to automate something simple, just a quick nurture sequence to make sure that your people are learning more about you and getting them to your email platform so that they come off of social media. Because again, social media is rented real estate. When it comes to your email list, you own that. And so, because you own that, if the platform decided it was going to, let's say you're on Kit and they decided they were going to shut down today, you can download your entire email list and then you're ready to go. You have their email list that you can just upload as a CSV file to your new platform. The second question I got was this one. When I post content, how do I know what my audience likes if I have a small following? So, if you have a small following, how do you know what they like? Well, there are a couple things that you can do, but the best thing for you to do is to ask them. Ask them what they like. What do you like? What do you want to hear more about? We talked about preferences in the email list. What are their preferences? You can post a story on social media asking them what it is that they like. If you know some people that fit into your audience, then ask them to get on a call. Like, have a 20-minute conversation with them. Maybe do a survey, do a poll, ask them what they like. And once you ask them what they like, then you have some answers about what it is that they need. But don't just go with the surface. Don't just go with the surface. Go deeper. Go deeper. Ask them deeper questions. And then once you finish talking to them, ask for God for discernment and identifying the deeper needs that your audience has so that you can speak to those. So I hope that this was helpful. This has been another episode of the Savvy Systems Sister podcast. I am thrilled that you have joined me this evening, and I will see you back next Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we are doing it all over again. Love ya.